Jonglei waye. Greater Bor waye. Greater Punjab waye. Greater Akub waye. Greater PG waye. South Sudan waye. South Sudan waye. President Kir waye. Thank you so much. Please have a seat. Thank you so much. Greater Punjab waye. Greater Akub waye. Greater PG waye. South Sudan waye. South Sudan waye. President Kir waye. Thank you so much. Please have a seat. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Please have a seat. If you're in the back, please. First of all, I want to tell you that I'm so humble to see a crowd of Greater Jonglei together like this. I know some of you woke up since 6 in the morning. I know some of you did not even get a chance to have lunch or breakfast. But I know you came here not because you come here for me. I know that you come here because you believe that something needs to change. And I hear you. I want to tell you that I hear those talks that you are discussing with your neighbor. Something needs to change in this country. Something needs to change in Jonglei. And I want to tell you that I hear you, and I believe South Sudan will hear you soon. And I believe the rest of the world will hear all of us soon. Before I go into detail, in our greatest state of Jonglei, I'm here because I love you. That's the reason why I'm here. I'm here not because of my relatives. I'm not here not because of my friend. I'm here because I love all of you. I grew up in rough places. I didn't grow up in a wealthy home. I grew up as a poor child. I understand how hard it is to be a child, to be raised. I know how hard it is. I know how hard it is as a single mother raising children right now. I know how hard it is. I know how hard it is to be a parent, to be a father of kids that does not have mother. I know how hard it is. I know how hard it is when you're trying to build something in the state, but next thing you hear is that there's no peace and people are coming to your doorsteps. I know how hard it is. I know how hard it is when you're trying to talk to somebody that you think that you can listen to, but that person disappoints you and says that he doesn't know you. I know how hard it is. I also know how hard it is when you see yourself in a village that doesn't even see you. When you're trying to talk to somebody who's a politician that you think that that person can give you at least, 50 pounds or something just to buy a one day of meal, and that person disappoints you and says that he doesn't have it. I know how hard it is. I know how hard it is when you give up in life. I know how hard it is when you give up in life. Some of us now will give up. And some of us are saying that the best days of South Sudan, not only Jonglei, the best day of South Sudan has already passed. Some of us are saying that thing. And I want to tell you that the best day of Jonglei, the best day of South Sudan are up ahead. I say that this is the beginning because I believe that Jonglei and Greater Jonglei, all of us, I believe that we are all yearning for the same thing. I know that we might have different desires, but I hope our goals are exactly the same. Our problems are exactly the same. Our problems are very identical. And what we want in life is exactly the same thing. But I want to tell you this today. I'm not the normal governor. I will not be the usual governor. I'm that governor that will tell it in front of you, right before your eyes, that if you're trying to do something that destroys the livelihood of people of Jonglei, I will not be with you, and I will tell you right in front of you. The governor of Jonglei is the governor of every citizen of Jonglei, and in fact is the governor of every citizen in this country. And this is how I see it. I see myself that I'm somebody who's going to just serve you, not you serving me. This is why I accept to go there. As it was said earlier, as it was said earlier by Honorable Michael McQuaid, that in Jonglei, even the nation itself is hostile. I know that. I know it is hostile. And for me, it has been a while since I've been in a hostile situation. But I accept to go there because I believe that something needs to change, and I believe I'm a hope and the speaker for that change. As we all gather here today, so many people have called me and said that, don't go to Jonglei. Jonglei is not a good place for you. So many people say that Jonglei is very hostile state. People say that Jonglei is very hostile state. As a state where you will not sit for 2 days, 3 days. You will not spend 3 days. So many people. About 98% of the people who have advised me for this past few days have been saying exactly the same thing, that I should not have gone to Jonglei, that I cannot go, that this is the right time for me to go. And that's why I accepted it. I accept to go to Jonglei because I see that unity among all of you. I see that sense of peace, that you want to do something. And more importantly, I see the sufferings that it touch heavy hearts from every walk of life in Jonglei. Whether you're a politician, whether you're wealthy, whether you're poor, I see that the suffering has touched all of us. And I believe 7 years ago, some of us are not in the same standard that they are in today. Some of us who were owning business 7 years ago, they're not owning business right now. Some of us who were owning cattle, they're not owning cattle right now. Some of us are owning houses, they're not owning houses right now. All of those has been all wiped out. All of those wealth that you all work for are done all. So all of us now are asking for the same thing. Is that when is it that peace will come to Jonglei? When is it that peace will come to South Sudan? And I want to tell you, I have a different formula for how peace can come to our wonderful states. And my formula is a bottom-up formula, where I want to make sure that every human being in Jonglei must be part of that peace, so that all of us hold it together. The reason I do this is because we single ourselves into different classes. I will say that the people of Jonglei, they have no problem among themselves. All of you have no problem among yourself. But let me tell you this. You might disagree with me, but when you go home, think about it. Most of the problems that have devastated the entire country, that have devastated Jonglei, some of them are all caused by people who are not from Jonglei. There's so many people who are not from Jonglei who today feel that they own the state of Jonglei, that Jonglei belongs to their pockets, and they're not from Jonglei themselves. And I say that all of us knows that. And what I'm asking you today, itself from Jonglei problem. Can we tell them that leave us alone? Let the people of Jonglei try to solve their own problems. Let's see if there will be a problem. Let's see if there will be another crisis that will be caused among ourselves, just by ourselves. I believe, I'm very optimistic. that we can do that. I'm optimistic that if we reject the inside influence, the influence that are coming from outside, if we reject those influence, Jonglei can have peace. And I will be your governor that will call for that. See me tomorrow talking to your friend who's from a different state. If you see me telling your friend who's from a different state that distance yourself away from Jonglei problem. Because Jonglei problem need Jonglei solution. I know that we have different political parties. And I can tell you today, I don't care about them. I don't care about them. But I care about the party who would put food to the table for the people of Jonglei. Let me tell you the truth. This is part of the peace. If we sit to this, and we have another gathering tomorrow, but some of us later on, when we leave this hall, some of us has already the meal that already been prepared for them. But majority of us, they don't have nothing. Just because they're here today, They did not move around to collect something for themselves. Then tonight they will go with empty stomachs. Tomorrow again they will go empty stomachs. So if you can see somebody who's been going without meal for 3 days, 4 days, and you talk to them about making peace, that person will not hear you. They will not hear you at all. So I want to make sure that two things. Let's walk the walk of peace, and let's carry our food with us. Let's put the food at the table before we can talk. If we don't have anything at the table, don't think that everything will be solved. I believe that things happen for a reason. Long wait for peace has some consequences. And I believe that with our cooperation, with our working together, we can solve every problem in Jonglei. And to my group where I belong to, the youth of South Sudan, that's where I belong to. That's what I mean. Let me tell you something. This responsibility now has been given to us. Today it's up to us to take Jonglei where it needs to be. Example, that always touches my heart. And everywhere I go in South Sudan, I think about it. And anytime I think about it, I also think about all of you. In 2012, my older brother passed away. And while he was passing away, he was a soldier in the army. In SPLA. He was in active duty. And at that time, he was sick. When he was sick, his sickness was going worse. And one night he called me, he told me that he was not feeling well. And from his voice, he was trying to hide it from me, how worse it got. And from the way I know him, I knew that something was about to happen. At that time, he had been waiting for 3 months without getting his salary. I was in America, I was a college student. Most of you from young people, you know, being a college student, you don't have anything, penny in your pocket. That's how I was. I had nothing. Even a phone to talk to him, I could barely get it from my friends. And then from there, I asked him, did you see the doctor? He said he saw the doctor, and the doctor told him that he had to go outside of South Sudan to see a doctor, either Uganda or Kenya or Ethiopia or Sudan. And he did not have any money to go. He was giving the referral letter that he needed to go right away. He did not have any money for his salary. He didn't get his salary. 3 days later, I got called in the middle of the night that he passed away. When I think about that, my heart broke. My heart been broke ever since. And I believe that this is the story of all of us. As we sit today, so many of us as families have died the same way my brother passed away. And as somebody who is from Jonglei, I don't want that to happen to you. I don't want that to happen to your brother. I don't want that to happen to your son, to your daughter, to your brother, or to your father. I don't want that to happen. I know how bad it hurts. And it will always hurt the rest of my life. And so that's why I say that let's put food at the table. Because if we have food at the table, we would make sure that somebody who was sick had to see the doctor. As we sit today, the population of Jonglei, some of them are in swamp. And you can understand being in the swamps that they are all feeling sick. You cannot be in the water for a week without getting malaria. And right now, as we speak, we don't know what doctor is seeing. We share the same story. We share the same feeling. And all of this can never be solved by myself alone. All this problem can never be solved by President Kiir alone. All this problem cannot be solved by Honorable Michael McQuay and Honorable Deng Dao and Honorable alone. They can be solved when we all work together. Peace is not always free. So as you put this responsibility on my neck, I'm also putting some part of it on your neck. want to tell you that in order to support me, I want you to start it with your neighbor. I want you to start it with your brother. I want you to start it with your mother. If you work with them, you will work with me better. I also want you to ask whoever is your rival or your enemy that you don't talk to from Jonglei. I ask you to call them, to just say hi to them, and just say that you are praying for them. I want you tomorrow, if you are from the greater Pangak, I want you to call Honorable Makwe and tell them exactly what you need to be done in Pangak. And you just hear what he's going to say. And I also want you from Gurabor to call a politician from Gura Akoba, from Gura Pangak, and tell them exactly what you need to be done. And exactly hear what they have to say. Then from there we will know exactly who are standing for us and who are not standing for us. Responsibility that I always want to do myself. I believe that all of us are created in Jonglei for a reason. We don't just appear overnight in Jonglei. Jonglei is where it all began. The contribution of Jonglei State, to the independence of South Sudan is so great. Every one of us knows that. All our heroes and heroines, those who have passed and those who are still with us today, they know exactly where they went. I can take an example to Honorable Makwe. In those days, they were not wearing suit and tie. They were wearing clothes that were ripped off. They were walking from all part of South Sudan, to the north, to east, to west, and south. They were fighting. Some of us didn't know that they will be here with us. They will be here with us today. But with God's help, they achieve what they want. They deliver South Sudan. So as I sit here as a governor, I owe a debt to them, to those who have passed and those who are still here. And I want to make sure that I wasn't there at that time. But I want to make sure that I do my duty that I could have done if I were with them. Because if I was, I would have been there with them. But because I was not with them, this is my time right now to do exactly what I could have done with them. And I want all of you the same thing. You know, sitting and complaining will never bring us anything. If you look at all the problems in Jonglei now, pretty much every one of us has a solution to it. But the best solution that I think, that I call my formula, of the bottom-up formula, is that if you started with a person next to you, today there will be 2 of you, tomorrow will be 4 of you, the next day it will be 6 of you. And then the next thing you know is that you will change a payam. If you change that payam, and then you will change the Buma, and then you will change the state, you will change the county, and eventually you will change the entire country. Task that we need to deliver. And we need South Sudan to see Jonglei that is not the Jonglei that they keep on talking about. It's not the Jonglei that some people from part of South Sudan go and cause problem in Jonglei. And when it's all messed up, they jump back and they say Jonglei people are the problem. Let's prove them wrong, guys. Let's just prove them wrong. That all of these problems have never been caused by us, but we've been put into it. As Honorable Makwe said, if you're somebody who is given a message, a wrong message, but you don't judge what the message is, you just take it and go and kill somebody, and then you are the problem. Can we just listen? As it was said earlier, I was advised to listen. I want to advise you as well. Can you listen? If you're a senior politician, if you've been called by somebody, younger, listen to him or her. Then, of course, it will help you to advise me much better. As somebody who have been passing through hard rocks, my appointment as a governor is not an easy appointment. I think I'm the only governor who have been so unlikable. Who have been when people look at me from a distance, they just look away. They're like, no. Can't be him. This is what I get all the time. I will meet with people And as soon as they see me, I can see that. Right? I like to be unpredictable. I'm not a guy who takes himself seriously. I never do. Because I believe that whatever I can do inside my heart, if I clean my heart, then you will see something better. I believe that I'm a kind of guy that you can be friend with. A guy that you can be friend with. In my entire life, I've never been friend with somebody and tomorrow I cause problem. I never do. There's never been any problem that has been caused by me. Ever in my life. And I believe this is what I'm going to do. So tonight, I want to tell you that I don't care about tribe or whatever state. If you are that person, I am your brother, I'm your son, I'm your friend. And let's identify how we can bring this peace. And let me tell you, we cannot bring peace to Jonglei if we do not consider our greater. Because it is administrative from Jonglei, not from other states. They're from us. And so if we build peace with them, an honest peace, you never know. They may just come back and join the unity. They may come back and join the family. And I believe that we will have honest discussions with whatever one of them. And I believe that when we do that, then we can actually honestly see peace. So tonight, I want to tell you that I will be with you. I will be that guy who will roll up his sleeves and walk the walk with you. And talk the talk with you. And talk the talk with you. And to all the political parties, SPLM, SPLM-IO, to SAWA, to any other party, if you don't have food at the table, don't expect me to listen to you for a long time if you want a meeting. I want you to tell me exactly how we can have food at the table before we talk. Because we can't talk while they are empty stomach. That talk will not happen. If we are all hungry, we'll be together. But if you come in and you want to do a political rally, you do all things, make sure that we rally with you. We rally with you. We'll do everything for you. But make sure that you give us food at the table. And that food will not come if there is no peace, of course. So peace and the progress must move together. Because you can't tell me that you're building peace in Jonglei. If you are wealthy, you're better off. And I don't have a place to stay. I don't have enough food to eat. That peace will never come. And peace will come when everybody in Jonglei can open a business in Bor and every county. We want to make sure that we are the first states, the private sector. We want to make sure that if you're a citizen of Jonglei and you have some money in your pocket, come with me. I will make sure I will die to protect that business. I'll do that. Because when we do that, if you open a business, I open one and somebody open another one, then we will be employing the citizen of Jonglei. Then from there you'll be having food around. But if we do not do that, if we just listen up, if we just wait for salaries, then this prosperity will never come. So I tell you today that I want Jonglei to be one of the states that attracts foreign investors, business, to come to Jonglei. But also keep in mind that my priority number one is the citizen of Jonglei. That is somebody who is a truck driver, somebody who is a truck driver cannot be brought from foreign country and drive that truck in Jonglei. No. You can do in Juba here, but not to Jonglei. You can drive that truck and deliver water in Juba here, but not to Jonglei. The citizen of Jonglei can do that, can drive their trucks. If you are making tea on the street, that somebody making tea cannot be brought from somebody from another country. We have somebody in Jonglei who can do that. So if you are a friend to a foreign investor who want to go to Jonglei, you tell him or her, when they go there, they will have to play with the same set of rules that prioritize the citizen of Jonglei, not them. Jonglei has been a state that welcomes so many all around the world. And at some point, South Sudan has been known through the people of Jonglei. Be known through the people of Jonglei, through our hard work and resilience and cooperation. We still have the same hard work and resilience and cooperation today. But that doesn't mean that we have to let go our dignity and our rights and what makes us who we are. We cannot allow that to happen. We want somebody who come to Jonglei with us to know that there is a police and board and you must listen to them. And that there is authority that you must listen to. And that there are citizens in Jonglei that you must respect, despite of where you come from. So that we make sure that our hard work have to be filled by us. Filled by us. So I will be that governor that will champion that, so that we work together to make sure that our business people thrive. And as of right now, Honorable Deng Dao just said that there is a road now going to Jonglei. I think this is a great opportunity. And this is why I said that I'm glad that it happened right now. Because we make sure that that road goes to all corners of Jonglei. So that this suffering because of lack of road cannot continue for so long. And if we are building roads, we can bring engineers from other countries. But the labor, I can tell you today, you don't need a degree to cut down a tree. No, you don't need it. So the same villagers who are in the swamp today are the people that I will employ tomorrow. These are the people that need an employment right now. If you're working on the road and you are just shoveling the road, you don't need a degree, you don't need a certificate to do that. And you don't need to speak any language. You can speak only Dinka or Nuer or Anuak, and you can be able to work and earn a living just because you're sitting in Jonglei. So if these policies and ideas are different with you, just think about them when you go home. I do this because I want the innocent people. The people that you've never met, people who some of them don't even have shoes, some of them don't even have clothes on. Those are the people that I want them to at least feel something, that South Sudan is there for them. That South Sudan is there for them. So today I want to ask my senior politician that as you sit here in Juba, don't wait until we call you. Monitor the work of what we're doing in the state. Make a phone call. Make a phone call to all the influential people, to all the chiefs that you know. Make a phone call to them. Have a conversation with them. I would be so happy to talk to a village chief whom a senior politician have talked to before. I would be so happy to do that. So I'm not going to keep you wait. I know that it'll be a long day, but I believe that you don't do it for me. You do it because of yourself.